Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I am Dr. Mubin Yusuf from Physiology Department, Faisalabad Medical University, Faisalabad. In my previous lecture, I have told you about the female reproductive system. Now let us discuss today about the male reproductive system. A brief comparison of the male and female reproductive system is given in this slide. The process of formation of sperm in the male is called as spermatogenesis, whereas the formation of the ovum in the female is called as oogenesis. The process of spermatogenesis occurs throughout the life of a man, but the process of oogenesis begins at the puberty and ends at the menopause in the females. The primary sex organ is the testis in the male and it is the ovary in the females. The primary male sex hormone is testosterone, and several hormones are involved in the process of reproduction in the females. Moreover, the women are born with all the gametes they have ever. The principal reproductive organs present in the males are the testes and the ducts and the system of ducts along with the testes. They also contain the accessory glands and the supporting structures. In the duct system of ducts includes the epididymis, ductus deferens, ejaculatory ducts, and urethra. And the accessory glands include the seminal vesicles, prostate, and the bulbourethral glands. The supporting structures included in the male reproductive organs are the scrotum and penis. Now, brief description about these structures are given here. The scrotum is located in the in an outpouching from the hanging down from the male body. Its location and muscle contraction regulates the temperature of the testes, and basically its location is necessary for maintaining the temperature of the testes. The normal sperm production occurs 2 to 3 degrees lower than core body temperature. So the response of the testis should be present in such an environment that the temperature that its temperature should be regulated. So how the scrotum responds to the cold temperature? The cremasteric muscles contract to pull the testis close to the body, and the dorsus muscle contracts to tighten the scrotum. In this way, it maintains the temperature in the cool environment. Also, how it maintains its temperature during the warm environment, it causes the reversal of the above actions. The testes descend during the 7th month of the fetal development. The tunica albuginea is located deep to the tunica vaginalis. Vaginalis is the outer covering of the testis, and it is sending, and the tunica albuginea is sending the septations to form the 200 to 300 lobules that contains the seminiferous tubules. The spermatogenesis is carried out by the seminiferous tubules. This slide shows the structure of the testis. You can see the seminiferous tubules and tunica vaginalis, how the tunica albuginea is sending out the septums inside and containing the seminiferous tubules. The testis contains three types of the cell: spermatogenic cells, which begin sperm production at the puberty; the satelli or tentacular cells, which are present at whose junctions form the blood-testis barrier, and they nourishes the spermatogenic cells. They carry out the phagocytosis and control the spermatogenic movements. They produces the fluid for the transport and secrete the hormones, that is inhibin. The third type of cells present in the testes are the Leydig or the interstitial cells, and the main function of these cells is to secrete the testosterone. These are the different stages of the formation of the sperm, how they are formed from the immature to the mature state. That is, the spermatogenic cells are containing the spermatogonia. The spermatogenic cells are the spermatogonia, which are the initial stage of the sperm development, and then it is converted into the primary spermatocytes, then secondary spermatocytes, then early spermatids, and the late spermatids that are then released in the form of spermatozoon into the cavity of the seminiferous tubules. You can also see the Sertoli cells, which are forming the enclosure around the developing spermatozoa, and also you can see the Leydig cells in the on the upper side of this slide. Along with the testes and scrotum, there are a system of ducts present in the male reproductive system. These are the seminiferous tubules, straight tubules, retitestes, efferent ducts, and ductus epididymis. What is epididymis? It is site of sperm maturation and storage and consists of ductus epididymis. It contains a head, body, and a tail. The head is the superior portion formed by the efferent ducts of the testes. Then there is the body, and the tail continues as the vas deferens or the ductus deferens. What is ductus deferens? Ductus deferens is actually the terminal portion is the terminal portion, and it is the duct leading from the epididymis, and its terminal portion is called as the ampulla. It conveys the sperm from epididymis towards the urethra, and it is also the site for the storage and absorption of the reabsorption of the sperms. Here you can see in this slide that the right ductus and is entering into the along with the ample vas deferens and seminal vesicle. It is entering into the prostate. What is spermatocord? The spermatocord is actually a supporting structure that is ascending out of the scrotum and moving upwards and moving upward into the abdomen. It is comprised of several structures including the ductus deferens, testicular artery, tympaniform plexus, autonomic nerves, lymphatic vessels, and cremaster muscles. What are the ejaculatory ducts? These are formed by the ducts of seminal vesicle and ampulla of the ductus deferens. These eject sperm and seminal vesicle secretions from the urethra to the exterior. What is urethra? Urethra is shared by the reproductive and urinary system, and it is divided into three subdivisions. That is the prostatic part of the urethra, membranous part of the urethra, and spongy urethra or the penile urethra. I've told you about the accessory sex glands that are present in the male. The function of these glands is to produce fluid to protect semen and facilitate their movement. And they include the seminal vesicles, who act as glands, prostate, and bulbourethral glands. And the main function of these three glands is to produce the fluid to protect the semen and facilitate their movements. The seminal vesicle produces an alkaline fluid which contains the fructose, prostaglandins, and clotting proteins. And the secretions of the seminal vesicles makes approximately 60% of the total semen volume. The prostate gland secretes a milky acidic fluid that contains a pH of about 66.5, and the other contents present in the prostate gland secretions are the citric acids, the proteolytic enzymes, the pepsinogens, lysozymes, amylase, and hyaluronidase, and it makes up to 25% of the total semen volume. Then the bulbourethral glands. The bulbourethral glands or the Cowper's glands are the pea-sized glands which are active during sexual arousals. They produce an alkaline fluid, and the function of these glands is to secrete the lubricating mucus. What is now coming towards another topic, that is the spermatogenesis. What is the spermatogenesis? The formation of the sperm is called as spermatogenesis. The formation of the sperms occurs from the spermatogonia. It occurs in the seminiferous tubules during the active sexual life by the gonadotrophin, releasing hormones that act on the anterior pituitary and causes the release of the LH and FSH. These LH and FSH in turn act on the cells of the testes, like Leydig cells and Sertoli cells, and produces their effects. There are certain other hormones that aid in their functions. The process of spermatogenesis continues almost throughout life after puberty. It starts at about 13 years of life and it goes on up till older age, but there is significant decrease in the older age of the spermatogenesis. What are the cytolysed cells? These are the large cells with overflowing cytoplasmic envelopes that surround the developing spermatogonia around the central lumen of the seminiferous tubules. And Leydig cells lie within the interstitium between the seminiferous tubules. They are numerous in the newborn male infant for the first few months of the life, and they are active during puberty and for the adult life and secrete the testosterone. This process of spermatogenesis begins with spermatogonia and which have the diploid number of chromosomes. Some pass through the blood testis barrier and form the primary spermatocytes, which are actually diploid. Then the meiosis 1 and meiosis takes place. In the meiosis 1, process of meiosis 1, the crossing over during metaphase 1 takes place and the secondary spermatocytes results. These spermatocytes are containing the haploid number of chromosomes. In the meiosis 2, it results in the formation of 4 spermatids in which each is having the haploid number of chromosomes. This is the slide showing how the spermatogonia is converting into different stages of the spermatocytes, the primary spermatocytes, the secondary spermatocytes, and then the spermatids, and that are converting into the spermatozoa, each containing now haploid number of chromosomes. Spermiogenesis is the transformation of spherical spermatids into the elongated sperm. There is formation of acrosomes over the head of the sperm. Their flagellum develops and the mitochondria multiply during the process of spermiogenesis. It is actually the transformation of spherical spermatids into elongated sperm, which is the final stage of the spermatogenesis. Again, this slide is showing how the different these are formed, how the sperms are formed in the seminiferous tubules, how different stages of the sperm formation are taking place, and they are released into the cavity of the seminiferous tubules. The whole of the process takes place about 70. What is the physiology of mature sperm? The mature sperm are actually motile and capable of fertilizing the ovum, and their activity is enhanced in a neutral and slightly alkaline medium, and it is repressed in mildly acidic medium. The life expectancy of the ejaculated sperm in the female genital tract is only 1 to 2 days. The acrosome of the sperm stores large quantities of hyaluronidase and proteolytic enzymes. You can see the acrosome, the picture on the right side of the slide showing the acrosomes, which is present over the head of the sperm, and it contains the large quantities of hyaluronidase and proteolytic enzymes. There are different hormonal factors that stimulate the spermatogenesis. These include the testosterone, luteinizing hormones, follicle stimulating hormones, estrogens, and growth hormones. Testosterones are secreted by the Leydig cells located in the interstitium of the testis, and they are essential for the growth and division of the testicular germinal cells, which is the first stage in forming the sperm. The luteinizing hormone is secreted by the anterior pituitary gland, and it stimulates the Leydig cells to secrete the testosterone. The follicle stimulating hormones are also secreted by the anterior pituitary gland, and they stimulate the Sartori cells. Without their stimulation, the conversion of the spermatids to sperm will not occur. Estrogen is formed from the testosterone by the Sartori cells. When they are stimulated by the FSH, they are probably also essential for the spermatogenesis. And last is the growth hormone, which is necessary for controlling the metabolic functions of the testis. Growth hormone specifically promotes the early division of the spermatogonia. And in its absence, the spermatogenesis is severely deficient or absent. How the maturation of the sperms takes place, and where is the place where the maturation of the sperms take place. After the formation of the seminiferous tubules, the sperm requires several days to pass through the epididymis, and at this stage they are still non-motile. After about 18 to 24 hours, they develop the capability of motility. Some inhibitory proteins in the epididymal fluid prevents the final motility until after ejaculation. The sperms are stored in the testes. The two testes of the adult human form up to 120 million sperms each day, and small amounts are stored in the epididymis, and the majority are stored in the vas deferens. They can be stored for many months. After ejaculation, the sperms become motile and capable of fertilizing the ovum. This process is called as maturation. The fertilized cells in the epithelium of the epididymis secrete the nutrient fluid, which contains testosterone, estrogen, enzymes, and nutrients which are essential for the sperm maturation. The capacitation of the spermatozoa. Although the sperm present are said to be mature when they are produced, but they are still present in a form that are non-active or non and are not capable of fertilizing the ovum. So, process by which they become active and are capable of fertilizing the ovum is called as the capacitation of spermatozoa. The freshly ejaculated semen undergoes a process called as capacitation within 1 to 10 hours. What are the different events that are taking place during the capacitation is that the inhibitory factors, first is the inhibitory factors which are keeping the sperms in the non-active form are removed, washed or the washed away by the uterine and fallopian fluids as they are passing upwards, descending upwards through the uterine cavity. Normally, the sperms are containing the cholesterol vesicles that are added up into the that are added up on the outside of the acrosomes and making it as the toughest membranes. While they are passing from the uterine cavity, the fluids of the uterine cavity and the fallopian tubes removes these cholesterol vesicles, and now they become active, and now they become active to and the control over the enzymes of the acrosomes is lost, and now they are capable of performing the functions more efficiently than when they were bounded by the cholesterol vesicles. Thirdly, the membrane of the sperms becomes more permeable to the calcium. The calcium enters into the sperm and gives the flagellum a whiplash movement, so it can move upwards more actively, and moreover they also causes the they also makes the acrosome of the sperm to become more active, and causes the more release of the enzymes that can penetrate through the and through the layers of the corona radiata and the zona pellucida, and to enable the sperms to enter inside the ovum. So what is semen? Semen contains the sperm in the amount of about 20 to 100 millions per ml. It contains the seminal fluid. The fluid composition of the semen is about 60% from the seminal vesicles, 30% from the prostate, 5% from the bulbourethral gland, and 5% from the testicular cells and the epididymis. This is the same I have told you earlier in my previous slides. It also contains the enzymes, and the total volume is 2 to 5 ml per ejaculate, about which 99% of the volume of the semen is added from the accessory glands. Again, a repetition that what is the composition of the semen. The semen contains the sperm that are actually the gametes, male gametes, and are secreted from the and are formed from the seminiferous tubules. It also contains the mucus, which acts as lubricant and is formed from the bulbourethral glands. It contains the water, which provides a liquid medium, and it is formed from all of the glands. It also contains the buffer that neutralizes the vaginal acids, and these are secreted from the prostate and the bulbourethral glands. It contains the fructose that provides fructose, citric acid, and fructose and vitamin C that provides nourishment to the sperm, and they are formed from the seminal vesicles. The citric acid is also provide nourishment to the sperm, and they are secreted by the prostate. The Carnitine also provides nourishment and is produced from the epididymis. The enzymes are present that clot and liquefy the semen, and they are found from the seminal vesicle and prostate. They also contain the zinc that is involved that is important for the fertility, and the prostaglandin are added for the sperm transport, and they are provided from the seminal. The testosterone and other male sex hormones are formed from the male reproductive organs. The testis secretes several male sex hormones called as androgens, which are including the testosterone, dihydrotestosterone, and androstenedione. Testosterone is the major abundant form, while the dihydrotestosterone is the more active form. How it is secreted and what is the chemistry of androgens in the body? The term androgens means that any steroid that has the masculinizing effect from the testis, and they are formed from the testis and the adrenal gland, and they are synthesized either from the cholesterol or directly from the acetyl coenzyme A. How the testosterone acts intracellularly, or what is the basic intracellular mechanism of action of testosterone? It increases the rate of protein synthesis in the target cells. Testosterone is converted by the intracellular enzyme 5-alpha reductase to dihydrotestosterone. Then it binds to cytoplasmic receptor proteins. This combination moves into the nucleus and initiates gene transcription and induces the new protein formation. So it increases the rate of protein synthesis in the target cells. What are the different functions of the testosterone? It is responsible for the characteristic masculine body. What is the function of testosterone during the fetal development? Testosterone, which is secreted by the genital ridges and later by the fetal testes, is actually responsible for the development of the male body characteristics, including the formation of penis and scrotum and suppression of the formation of female genital organs. It also causes the descent of the testes. The testes usually descend into the scrotum during the last 2 to 3 months of the gestation, when the testes begin secreting reasonable quantities of the testosterone. What are the effects of testosterone on the development of the adult primary and secondary sexual characteristics? After puberty, the increasing amount of testosterone causes the enlargement of the penis, scrotum, testes, and secondary sexual characteristics. It has the effect on the distribution of body hair. It causes the growth of hair over the pubis and on the face. The testosterone also decreases the growth of the hair on the top of the head and causes the baldness. But in addition to the testosterone, there are two other factors that are predisposing for the baldness. These include the genetic background. If someone is having the genetic background of the baldness, along with the testosterone, he will be having more chances of developing baldness. And secondly, is the large quantities of androgenic hormones, along with the genetic background and testosterone. On the voice, it causes hypertrophy of the laryngeal mucosa and enlargement of the larynx, which and provides it a typical adult masculine voice. Testosterone increases the thickness of the skin and can contribute to the development of acne, and it also increases protein formation and muscle development. Testosterone also increases the bone matrix and causes the calcium retention, bone growth, thickness, and deposition. The bone grows become thicker and deposits additional calcium. Thus, it increases the total quantity of bone matrix and causes the calcium retention, which has the anabolic effects. The testosterone increases the basal metabolic rate by about 15%, indirectly as a result of the anabolic effect, and it increases the red blood cell mass from 15 to 20%. It increases the reabsorption of sodium in the distal lobules of the kidney. Now we'll briefly discuss about the abnormality of the spermatogenesis and male cell functions. The effect of the sperm counts occurs on the fertility. When the male have less than normal sperm count, they affects its fertility. The quantity of ejaculated semen during the coitus is about 3 to 5 ml. 1 ml contains more than 120 million of the sperm. The normal sperm counts occur to 35 to 200 million sperm per ml, and if the count is less than this amount, the person may suffer from the infertility problems. The effect of sperms also occur on the morphology and motility of the effect on the morphology and motility of the sperm also affects the fertility. Even if the sperm count is normal, the males may present with the infertility. How? There may be the abnormal shapes of the sperms present. The shape of the sperm is normal, maybe count is normal, shape is normal, but relatively non-motile or entirely non-motile can also cause the infertility. So the normal count of the sperm and the normal morphology and motility of the sperm is necessary for the normal prostate gland and its abnormalities. Benign prostatic fibroadenoma in older age is due to the overgrowth of prostatic tissue, which is not caused by the testosterone. The cancer of the prostate gland can be caused by the stimulation of cancer cells by the testosterone. What is hypogonadism in the male? During fetal life, when the testes are non-functional, none of the male sexual characteristics develop in the fetus. Instead, female organs are formed. If the body loses his if the boy loses his testes before puberty, the onchism, that is the infantile sex organs and infantile sexual characteristics is developed. If a man is castrated after puberty, sexual organs regresses in size and voice regresses. Adiposogenital syndrome or the Froelich syndrome or hypothalamic onchism. It is a hypogonadism due to the genetic inability of the hypothalamus to secrete normal amounts of GnRH and abnormality of the feeding center of the hypothalamus that are resulting in the obesity with narcissism. What is cryptorchidism? Normally, during last month of the intrauterine life, the testes descend along the tract, inguinal canal, into the scrotum. But due to lack or deficiency of the testosterone or any other problem, and there is a failure of the testes to descend in the scrotum, which normally occurs during fetal life and results in the cryptorchidism. Testicular tumor and hypergonadism in the male occurs due to the interstitial Leydig cells tumor, which is very rare. The overproduction of the testosterone occurs in this case. In children, it causes the rapid growth of the musculature in bones and early uniting of the epiphyses and causes the excessive development of the male sexual organs. Thank you.